let's go into the losers of this, the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I lightweight don't want to call them lose. I mean, they are by default, but like they had a great year. Like I don't think anybody expected them to have the year that they had, especially not the regular season. But even when they got in the regular season, I had them beating Phoenix. I was like, yeah, I hated that Phoenix team from the minute Kevin Durant got over there. And by the way, whose decision to leave Golden State looks worse than Kevin? It just gets worse by the moment. It
Boy,
gets worse by the moment.
put the screen back on everybody, my nigga. We need to look. That might go down as the dumbest decision in NBA history.
Yeah.
Like more because you left a potential dynasty. And look at what has happened to you since. It might go down as the dumbest decision of all time.
Because he cares what people think. That's just his problem. He just cares what
that
people
was the
think.
mistake.
And like most superstars don't care what people think, but he definitely does. Like
he took that joke that when Bob Myers said that joke at the 2018 parade about, oh, we still gonna give his money to Steph. Ha ha ha. I was like, that nigga's not coming back.
Yeah.
I was like, but Steph won another title, and boy, don't let the Mavericks win this one. If Kyrie leave, and it also makes Harden look worse than Harden already. I don't want to play with Kyrie. Like, all right, nigga, and he sent Harden home, and I ain't gonna lie to you, Kyrie was locking Harden up on a couple possessions in the first round. But anyway, back to Minnesota. They beat Phoenix, beat OKC, and then they just completely handled Minnesota, man. So. But as far as what's going to happen with next to them, I think in today's NBA, we got to be very careful about saying they'll be back again. I had no problem with Anthony Edwards saying that last night. He's supposed to say that. He's young. I love his confidence, and you're not going to go up there with, I hope we back next year. But this is the Timberwolves are in a weird situation here, and I say that because when we asked the last round, bang, we was like, who's going to be back? Are the Oklahoma City Thunder going to be back? We always like getting me back because, like you just said, real team building out. Which you got Shea, who got postseason experience. Chet's gonna get better in year two. I do feel like they need to find a legit number two to score because I don't believe in Jalen Williams as like a legit number two. But they've got so many draft picks to be able to get that. Minnesota has an issue because Anthony Edwards is gonna get better. He's only 22. I'm still not a Rudy Gobert fan. I don't care how many defensive player of the years he wins, and I think we've seen that in this playoffs that. I don't think he's as great as a defender as the numbers may show you. And then Karl-Anthony Towns, man, like Cat if Cat decided to stay in the post, bro, he shoots too much. I know he's a good 3-point shooter. He's a big man. He won 3-point shooting contest, but he needs to change the way he plays basketball. But the only other issue is they got a battle for the team ownership this summer. So the Wolves president of basketball operations, Tim Lee, who A-Rod and Mark Lurie stole from Denver. He was the guy who built the Denver Nuggets and made them the champions. They signed him to beat Denver. And that's exactly what he did with the way they constructed. But he has an opt-out in his contract this year where he can ask for a lot more from either Denver or he'll get to pick it a little from somewhere else. And then you have the proxy battle in court this July where there's going to be an arbitration hearing that could probably last all summer between Alex Rodriguez, Mark Lurie, and Glenn Taylor. For those of you who don't know, Glenn Taylor has been the owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves since they debuted in 1989. But 3 years ago, he had agreed to sell the team to Alex Rodriguez and entrepreneur Mark Lurie, who was A-Rod's partner. And they paid him $600 million. They had lost some funding, but they found another investor real quick. And they had a new plan, and Glenn Taylor was just like, oh, I don't feel like doing it anymore. Basically, he sees how good the team is. When he decided to sell the team, it was up. I think they're worth $1.9 billion. Now they're worth $3.5 billion, and he just doesn't want to let go of them. A-Rod and them like, nigga, we gave y'all $600 million, and we still have the money. You can't just get out of contracts like that. So whoever wins this battle this summer, whether it's Glenn Taylor again or whether it's A-Rod or Mark Lurie, they're going to have a huge luxury tax bill they're going to have to pay, and that's going to impact roster construction. So we don't know if A-Rod and Mark Lurie or Glenn Taylor are going to be cheap, like, oh, we tried, but now we got to cut salary. So that's why I'm really interested to see how this is going to go, and I'm not 100% sure that this is going to lead to them being right back in this. You're going to have Memphis is going to be back next year. You have Ja Morant back for a full season. You expect Oklahoma City to take that next leap. Denver's gonna be back. Like there's so many other teams in the West that I feel it's gonna be tough for them, and they really need to get it done this year. I'm gonna go to Bang first because I want to get your opinion on like even just with the ownership stuff. What do you think? Do you think there's a good chance we back here next year, or did they really blow a golden opportunity?
Because Ann is so young, I don't want to say that they blown a golden opportunity, but I think they blown a golden opportunity because I'm just not sure that ownership is going what is Glenn Taylor or A Rod in them. I don't think they're going to be able to keep this team together. Minnesota is not a team that wants to go into that extra luxury tax. They don't want to do that. Excuse me. At the end of the day, they're still a small market team. So for teams like that, I'm always leery about what can happen with them going forward. So with them, nah, man. Remember when KG went and we was like, yo, somebody like KG go to the Eastern Conference Finals. You know, he may have ran into the Lakers, but somebody like him, he got to come back. Nah, that nigga was in
Yeah.
Boston a couple of years later. And
Yep.
we've seen this before where we've seen teams that you just thought that you will see come back and be there over and over and over again, not come back. And guess what those teams have been? Small market teams. So, nah, I'm not so sure that this will happen again. But I'm hopeful because I like Ant.
I like Ant and also that new commercial he got, new Adidas commercial, fire
Yeah, that shit
commercial.
hard.
But when they hired, when they called Cam's tweet out, you knew Cam was gonna shoot back. Cam said, what did he say? Cam said, "Oh man, Ant man, I wasn't trying to say that, but y'all need to find a better looking lesbian
Yeah, that shit was
to
hilarious.
read my tweet."
And I
Like, come on, man.
and I'll hot take it. I'll hot take it on this one. That commercial is leading to the best superstar campaign since LeBron James. Like this
It's an
is
old
it's
school commercial. I like how
yeah,
that
it's
looks.
an old school commercial, old
I
school
wouldn't have read
idea.
that though. I'd have told Adidas, man, I'm a Cameron fan. Y'all setting me up. I know what he's finna
And
say on the
and
internet.
shouts out to two people that I know that has worked on that campaign. Shouts out to my man Pharaoh and shouts out to my girl Makita. They both been working on the campaign with Ant. So yeah, you know.
Big shout out to them. Mike, man, what you think about do you think that Minnesota blew opportunity? I know me and you have had conversations about you saying more people just like Ant because the way he talks more than his actual play on the court.
Right, right. All the other shit cool, they're fucked. The Timberwolves fucked. Like Bang said. Now I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna break it down to you why they fucked. And like Bang said, that was their golden opportunity. Not saying they would have beat Boston, but just to get to the finals, I think they were straight. Okay, it's the reason why they fucked. Like he needs a better running mate, right? So he needs, Cat's not his. That's not the prototypical running mate that he needs. A big guy that wants to shoot threes. Like he won a 3-point contest and just yelled to the world, I'm the best shooting big man ever. And it's like, wow, we saw Dirk Nowitzki, but that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now he won the 3-point contest. That's all he wants to do. Rudy Gobert is Rudy Gobert. He making a lot of money, and they traded all the picks, right, for Rudy Gobert. All right,
Yep.
cool. So now you're battling. So now they're battling for ownership. You got no picks. You got Rudy Gobert all this money. You got Cat all this money. Guess who's gonna come up with one of probably the second biggest contract ever after Luka get it? It's probably gonna be Ant, right? It was like another year or two.
Well, yeah. After Tatum and Luka are gonna get generational
Right,
bags this summer, but
right.
after them,
So then,
it'll probably be Ant or Ja.
right, Ant and Josh. So regardless, he's getting a big bag, right? Boom. He's going to take it, or he has to leave. So he's going to take the bag. How are they going to function as a team?
Yeah.
Because he's going to take the money. So how no one's coming to Minnesota. So we got that understood. Small market teams. Listen, bro. If niggas didn't want to come to play with LeBron James in Cleveland his first
Nobody
stint,
going to Minnesota. Yeah.
no one's coming to Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? So now he has to focus on that. They can't get rid of Rudy Gobert. They don't have picks. I don't know how much you can get for Cat. And like you said, teams get better. You can't miss that opportunity. Like even with Denver, I don't think it's just going to be a cakewalk for them anymore. It's just like, okay.
It's not, but at least they have the best player in basketball.
Right. I think that's Luka. But
you got Luka over Jokic?
I got Luka over Luka, but that's just a different
I want to have
story.
that conversation on a future show.
Right. So, you know what I'm saying? And it's a toss-up. I guess whatever you like. But that's why I think they're fucked. I don't think they can they're a small market team. You got a big man that you gave away a lot of picks for, probably the worst trade ever. You gave a lot of picks. He making a lot of money. You got another big man that just wants to shoot threes. Probably can't get that much for him. You could get probably a player or two, maybe a pick. You know what I'm saying? But is that going to help Ant get over the hump? Like you said, Ja coming back. Teams get better. Teams figure out other teams. Because everything sometimes is just the matchup.
Yeah.
It's just the matchup. Like someone told, it was a guy, I want to say his name. He thought because they beat the Nuggets that they were just going to go through the Mavs. I'm like, I don't think that's happening. They guards. These guards are two different. Jamal Murray and KCP is not fucking Luka Doncic. They're fucking Kyrie Irving. That's just two different. That's two different ball games. So I legitimately think they're fucked. I don't think he would ever get to the finals with this team how it's constructed. And the West we thought was falling off a couple years ago, and now it's just getting better. Like teams are going to figure out, teams are going to get better, but the edge that some of these teams have is they in the a bigger market. The only one is like OKC, but they just draft fucking well. They draft well and they develop well, So I don't know where they could get the money at, because the only way you could do it is some way like how Dallas did. You trade for a player, but shit, but who the fuck wants Cat? Who wants Rudy Gobert? Especially if you get, it's not who wants them and who wants to pay their contract. No one. So I think that was the best opportunity they have. It was a nice run. Like I said, I love Ant. I think he's going to be definitely on the top of the hill, but people love him more. I swear to God, people love him more for what he says in like the post-game interview. Like my man, one game, he had an amazing game, and people like, man, they talked about his post-game interview, how he's talking. Like when he told Michael Parsons, oh man, I'll see you back in game 6, I saw people tweeting like, man, that sounds like some shit like Michael Jordan saying. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like,
Michael Jordan wouldn't be giving niggas shoes.
Like exactly. Like, so what we doing? But I think they blew a golden opportunity. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, because I do like Ant. I do want to see him get there, but no, man. Like the Timberwolves, if they play 4 more times, they probably won't win again. If they played the Dallas Mavericks 4 more times, they probably wouldn't win the game. You know what I'm saying? Luka was on one leg. You know what I'm saying? So now you have to worry about this team. You got to worry about the Clippers. You got to worry about the Lakers. OKC, Denver's still in there. I mean, so the Grizzlies going to come back. So it's going to be difficult. So Pelicans still there, the Suns, but no, they blew an opportunity. It's Minnesota, great job, but yeah, that's probably the end for them.
Dante, what you think about Minnesota, man? You think they blew it?
No, I'm not gonna say they blew it. I say it's gonna be tough for them to get back though. And the idea that to just say we'll be back next year, it sounds good in theory, but like we know, the West is a very tough conference, and teams are gonna reshuffle, moves are gonna be made, and it's just a matter of where they fall after that and how they continue to build off what they have. The Rudy Gobert issue is still there. I know obviously you were trying to get back in the game, but you mean to tell me the 4-time defensive player of the year is off the court in the 3rd and 4th quarter when you fighting for your season? Like he's off the bulk of those minutes. That's something you got to address. And I think Ant will continue to get better. He'll continue to grow. I like that he accepted every challenge they threw his way. Didn't back down from the Kyrie statements, even though Kyrie made a point to go out in game 1, and you saw how tired he was and how exhausted he was from trying to do it on both sides of the ball. But I think more than anything, it's just a matter of how they come into next season and as a team as a whole. Mike Conley told him, I don't have much time left. So what are you going to do about your point guard position? Jaden McDaniels is about to get a bag. Yeah, that was crazy. Jaden McDaniels is about to get a bag this offseason. So, it's a matter of just how that team continues to grow together. And if you do decide to make a move, which way do you go? I know a lot of people say just trade Rudy, but they assets are kind of bare because they traded a lot of their draft picks to go get Rudy. So if you trade Rudy, you gotta have to trade Rudy and something else to get something back, depending on what you want. Just because I think at this point, enough teams have seen his deficiencies in the playoffs to be hesitant about just trading for Rudy Gobert. Like if this was Dwight Howard with 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, in his prime jumping out the gym, yeah, people would do it. But with the give and take that comes with Rudy, I'm not sure how you move him. So you got to try to move on with him and build around him. Cat is Cat, bro. Like people got to let that shit go. Y'all sound like Shaq when people say go to the paint. That nigga does not play in the paint. That's just not his game. He's a shooter. Like that. through and through. He lived with it, he died with it, and he had a couple bad games, but for the bulk of the playoffs, he was very efficient for the Timberwolves. So I think again, just coming back next year with this experience, getting their bodies right. KG talked about that, how they just look gassed because they usually on vacation by this time. So I think saying I'll be back next year, that shit sound good in theory, but I don't think it's over for the Timberwolves.
That paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna